Welcome back to Hanksy Panksy No Bollocks, a little podcast where two bruv who were all sixes and sevens got into a right barney with Tom Hanks, spent too long with that Sherman tanker Dwayne Johnson, and took a long butchers at Keanu Reeves, and now they're spending some time with their favourite baked bean, Sandra Bullock. I'm Sam Siegel, and joining me today is the reverb in this room.
Is there a reverb in this room? Can it speak to us? The reverb.
Let me tell you, my guy, the waveform is garbage. It's so bad.
Well, I'll be
There,
the judge of that, but it doesn't sound, I mean, you sound fine in Zoom.
yeah, not in Audacity.
Oh no. Oh
Um,
no.
yeah. So our viewers will see that I'm in a new space, baby.
It's a new space, a new you. How do you feel in the new space?
Pretty good, dude.
Nice.
Very, very good. Um, so still working on this space a little bit.
Yeah.
Got the desk set up. I have a couch over here, a nice leather couch in my office.
Oh. Step into my
Um,
office and sit on the leather couch and
exactly.
yeah.
Um, I did a lot of work with the cable management, so it's not all fucking higgledy-piggledy in here. And all the wires are tucked away very nicely. I just need money for a rug
Yeah.
and um, and some shelves to go back on that back wall because it's a little bare right now.
Yeah, it's funny
Little
because
bare.
you sent me the photo of the desk, which looks immaculate and amazing,
Thank
by the
you.
way. But I didn't think to, in my head, I wasn't thinking about what's on the opposite wall. And turns out the answer is nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Just Sherwin-Williams oak moss
Yeah,
paint.
did you just paint this room?
Yes.
It looks awesome.
Thank you. Painted it, not just painted it, but painted it after we moved in.
Nice.
So basically, anytime Lewis was napping, I was painting.
I see. Okay.
Unless I had a meeting, in which case, if it was a meeting that I didn't have to participate in, I was in a meeting and painting.
And painting, dual, like multitasking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I said I need money for a rug that'll help with the reverb because Luke, there is not any soft material in this room.
So this one sounds super fucked up. Um,
It's not gonna sound, looking at the waveform, it's not gonna sound good on my end.
I think what I'll have to do is like Google it and try to
Hmm.
figure out how to remove reverb from in Audacity from which I've never really had to do.
Yeah, so you'll have to look up what do I do when my podcast co-host is recording from a cement bunker?
A cement bunker or a particularly sonorous cave, like
Yes.
just a
Yes.
fully in Plato's cave for
Actually, do you
sure.
think I could get an echo going?
I would actually, okay, so here's the problem. Yes, I would love to hear you try, but then
Uh-huh.
also if you genuinely get it going and I have to remove reverb, the
Uh-huh.
audience will never hear it. But for our sake, go ahead.
They
Let's
might
see.
they might on YouTube. It depends
Oh,
on
true.
what Zoom will do. So let's give this a go. Echo! No,
Pretty
no. I
close though.
I blew out the mic. I'll tell you that. Um,
Can you find about five more ways to fuck up your audio for me? Let's just
uh,
turn this into the Olympics of audio
I
editing.
do you want me to take on this challenge? Because I
No, no,
can.
no, 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 no,
Okay,
no,
because
no,
I
no.
was gonna say I can start fucking banging on the desk.
No,
Um,
I jest, I joke and I jape.
so on the note of me needing money for things in this room, if anyone is interested in a Valve Index VR headset, um, I am selling one now. Um, this is not what we usually use this space for,
No,
but your boy had to move it over from the old house to the new house today. Um, and I don't want it anymore
yeah,
because it makes me both motion sick and I think it gives me a sinus infection because it puts too much pressure on my dainty little face.
Which, by the way, is a thing.
Hmm.
Like, is legit a thing. You're not at all the only person. And that seems like a wild side effect to me.
It seems like a pretty big oversight.
Yeah.
Because I really love VR. I
Yeah.
really enjoy it. And like if I play it long enough, I can get my VR legs, so I won't be so motion sick. But then I will have a sinus infection, and that's no good.
That's no
So,
good.
so if anyone wants it, it's got the base stations, it's got the controllers, it's got everything except the wall anchors because those are in the wall of the old house. Didn't know how to get those out. That's a problem for someone else, which is me, but in the future.
Yeah.
Um, so if anybody wants that, I'm looking currently like $800. But if at this point, if it's like 20 bucks and a kick in my balls, I'll take it. Which I know is a bad negotiating tactic, but
Yeah, hey man, don't negotiate against yourself, especially by introducing the concept of a swift kick in the nuts
yes.
as an alternative to cash money.
And eventually your boys are gonna have two houses on the market on the same street. And at that point, I feel like we can say what street it is
Yeah, please,
so
yes.
that you can buy our houses, please.
If you want to buy celebrity houses, um, houses owned by known internet celebrities Sam Siegel and Luke Patrick, then yes, soon we will give
Yes.
you the all the details you could possibly want about these
Hmm.
homes.
Yeah, mine not on the market yet, but folks, you'll know what street we used to live on when it is.
Yeah, 100%.
Um,
Yeah, well, someone buy this VR headset. It's good for porn.
Please. I never tried it for porn, so that actually probably should make you feel better about buying it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unused in this avenue. And I
Hmm.
I wouldn't know either, but I guess I'm saying I've been told it is. Like it seems
That's
like a
what I
good
hear.
application.
That's what I hear.
It puts you
Like
in the space.
it puts you right in the space. Well, puts you in the room,
It
but
puts
it
you in the
doesn't put
room.
you in, if you know what I
True.
mean.
Yeah, true.
You need shit not appendices.
Like peripherals?
Yes, you need peripherals for that.
Yeah, you do. You super do. But
Hmm.
you could get those
You
peripherals.
could get those peripherals. And if you got $800 to throw around on my used VR headset that again I did not use for pornography,
Again, again, again.
no cum came anywhere near it.
Yeah.
Um, then I feel like you got enough for a little sexual peripheral action.
For sure. I mean, what's an additional like couple, I think couple $100?
I
I
think
could be
so.
way off on
You
that.
might be.
I might be really off. Also, it kind of looks like is it sunny today?
No, no, it's actually like just starting to rain.
Okay, because it looks like like you're entering the bat cave.
Yeah, let me I don't think that's better. I think
No,
that's worse. I
no,
think
bud.
I blew it out. Hold on. Let me.
It's all good. I just like it. I
Oh,
like
okay.
the aesthetic. I like that it's sort of because I feel like I should be like Bane and be like, you merely got used to the darkness,
Mm.
and then I was born in it, Batman.
Let me tell you, it's very cozy in here.
Yeah,
Um, like if I didn't have a child to take care of after this podcast, I'd probably pop down on that nap and pop down on that couch and take a nap.
amazing. Yeah, I literally just woke up from one. Um,
Nice.
but just real quick, I guess it's a new bit, Luke's New England Corner,
Mm-hmm.
or Cah-Nah, as we like to say up here.
Mm-hmm.
New England Cah-Nah with Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, it's June 6, 2025 today.
Mm-hmm.
I regret to inform you that it is cloudy and it was 57 degrees when I was out running out to the Natick Mall.
Damn.
Yeah,
Damn. That sounds nice.
it's something.
It is currently cloudy and 90 degrees.
So a little bit of difference between the two
Wait, no,
locales today.
sorry. It's 82 degrees. It just feels like 91.
Oh, I didn't even think about the feels like. I think the feels like is less than 58 or whatever I said.
Yeah, so the humidity here is 82% currently because of the rain, but the dew point, which I've learned is actually more important, 76.
Holy shit.
My God. And of course, the barometric pressure is a 2 9 or 4
Mm.
for you aviation heads out there.
Yeah, for all you
Um, if
aviation
you're
nuts.
if you're taking off from Little Rock right now,
Yeah.
your barometric pressure 2 9 or 4. Um,
Yeah, so
this
just
actually
as
won't help you by the time that you um,
true.
hear this, but if you
If you
were,
if you want to get a time machine and go back to
hmm there
six
you go.
fourteen 2025,
Though, given the
um,
weather, I probably would not
yeah, probably
recommend.
don't. Yeah, anyway, just
Yeah,
thought I'd throw out Luke's New England corner for a second and tell you about
yeah.
the nice summer weather that we've been having
How
up
much
around
chowder you been eating?
Chowder.
Hmm.
Zero, bud.
None?
Zero chowder.
It's got flour in it, doesn't it?
It's got flour and it's got fucking shellfish.
It
So
does seem like a thing that's almost designed for you not to eat.
yeah, I'm wicked allergic to both of the main ingredients. So
Hmm.
no chowder for me.
I guess
Um,
that knocks out lobster rolls too.
yeah, actually, literally, lobster rolls were had. I was hanging out with family the other day,
Hmm.
and lobster rolls were had by most everybody in attendance. But your boy could merely watch those sweet buttery rolls,
So do you just
full of
like
lobster.
when that happens, do you just eat like a Hebrew National hot dog on a cracker?
I had a Caesar salad, which is basically, I argue, basically the same.
I the Caesar salad's less depressing, I think. Hot dog
Yes.
on a cracker is prison-esque.
Well, depending on the cracker too, it also doesn't solve half of the problem of a lobster
It
roll.
would have to be a gluten-free cracker, of
It would have
course.
to be. And those categorically suck.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, it's like any kind of matzah.
yeah,
Actually,
basically.
I say that this past year we got thin, crispy matzah that was lightly salted.
Mhm.
Why is it not all like this? Because that was
Oh,
actually really tasty.
yeah.
That was a matzah I could get behind.
I don't know, man. I don't know why, like 6,000 years of matzah evolution. Like,
And
I mean, I
we
know
don't
it's
salt it.
because, yeah, exactly. And I know it's like, obviously there's the like remembrance aspect and like,
I mean, it is
etc.
the bread of affliction,
Right, yeah.
though it probably shouldn't be tasty. But if you're gonna make people eat it,
Right, that's what I'm saying. I
quid
feel
pro
like,
quo.
yeah. And it sounds like what you got was like Matza 2.0.
It does, yeah. I don't know why I said quid pro quo.
It sounded good. It
It
sounded
sounded
really
right.
good.
Should we talk about the movie?
Yeah, I think we should. It's
Okay.
actually, okay, I don't want to editorialize, but it is a big one that we're talking about this week, and it's
This was
nary 14 minutes into this, and we have not
pretty
mentioned it at
important.
all.
Yeah, so we did watch 1995's While You Were Sleeping. Um, and Luke, I'm curious how your watch was.
Well, Sam, not a lot to say. Scarfed it down.
Hmm.
Booted it up at I believe the conversation went something like this. You have a Hanksy to watch, don't you? Yes, I do. What is it? It's while you were sleeping. Great. Should we watch it now? Well, it is 5:30 in the morning, so
Hmm.
yes. Yes, I
Okay.
guess we will. And
Boy,
then
it is getting darker in here by the second. I am
I'm
sorry to
telling
interrupt
you.
you, but holy shit. You can't even see my hair anymore.
I'm telling you, Mr. Wade, it's really quite dark over there.
Jesus, I almost wonder if I like fly into the corner if I'll just disappear. So let me just.
Yep, yep, yep. Oh, the white t-shirt's really fucking
Yeah,
it
it's
up.
not helping me, but I get in the corner real nice. Hey, can I tell you? The
Yeah,
waveform isn't terrible from over here.
you're pretty audible through Zoom. You sound pretty
That's
good.
impressive. Maybe
Yeah.
I should just be recording from way back here. The vibe is very strange.
Oh no. Okay, so also as mentioned, my washer and dryer are going and they're from the 80s and I don't know how to pause them.
Hmm.
And I'm just looking at the background radiation on my waveform. And so
Uh-huh.
folks, this is a loose one. This is a wet and wild episode of Hanksy Panksy.
Yeah, I feel like the first one in the new house always is.
Yeah.
Considering that actually the first one I watched in the old house was the first episode.
Oh, yes, it was.
Yeah, we
Whoa.
recorded that probably inadvisedly the day after I moved.
Yeah. The times were different. Back then, we were just recording. And
Yeah. I mean, what are we doing now? My gosh.
yeah, but also we did give you space, enough space to like get shit set
True.
up.
Yeah, I had a room
Um,
to paint.
yeah, exact. God, it's gotten dark over there. It
It's
is
so fucking
perfectly
dark.
black behind
I
you.
am actually going to turn on the overhead light, see what happens.
Okay.
That's this is oh Jesus.
Cheesy Pete's.
Let's see. I feel like that's worse.
It's so much worse. Just go
It's
back to the
so
dark. Just
harsh.
go back to the dark. That
It's,
looks like I haven't okay, so like in the scene in the Bourne series where they're like sitting in like a room, like a
yes.
nondescript room,
You
and
mean
he's
in the
like,
Bourne Ultimatum when
and
you learn
yeah,
his like backstory?
and he's like, your name is David Webb, and he's just like sitting there. That's exactly the lighting
Will
they
you
use.
commit to this program?
Will you commit to this program?
Yeah. Will you commit to this podcast?
Will you commit to this podcast? Is an amazing title. Hang on, let me write that down.
Which I gotta tell you, 17 minutes in is an open question.
Yeah. Okay, so that was my watch. Nothing, literally nothing to report.
Hmm.
Um, how was yours, my friend?
So started it this morning, also around the 5:30 mark. Again, first time doing this in the new house, so that's always kind of exciting. Um, and then watched it in chunks, little bites here and there.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Bite-sized.
Watched it a little bit with Lewis, who really enjoyed it.
Nice.
If I can jump ahead to the sort of the review part,
Yeah, it doesn't.
Lewis gave
Yeah.
it 3 fingers up.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, he like was locked into it in a way that he typically is not. So I don't know what that means about how I am as a parent, but you know. And then stopped with about an hour left. Went over to the old house, picked up some stuff, uninstalled my Ecobee, um, reinstalled the old thermostat. So I'm sorry if you move into my house, you're not getting my fucking Ecobee.
Yeah, you're not getting the good stuff.
You're also not going to get my smart lock. I made the decision
Oh,
today that what I'm actually going to do is instead of buying a new smart lock and installing it here, I'm going to uninstall the old smart lock, then just put in a normal ass deadbolt,
yeah.
um, and go from there.
That's smart because we left ours.
Hmm.
Dudes are expensive, them smart
Yeah,
locks. They're
yeah.
like
It's like
pretty fucking
250, I think.
yeah, something like that.
The room is black now.
Yeah, it's actually it looks like an old like Dutch like oil painting. Like
It does. It really does.
it's pretty
I
cool.
just put on like a silly hat.
You're super high contrast and I just look normal as far as I'm aware. So I actually
Yeah.
really like this.
It's a real we can say that this is artistic because your room
Yeah.
is like nice and white and bright and
Yeah.
I'm in just this void now.
You're in the void.
I'm in
Welcome
the
to the
void.
void. You're a void boy.
I will tell you at some point, one day when we record and it's not so fucking hot out, I'm gonna crack one of these windows open. And so maybe we'll get a little soundscape going with maybe a little pitter patter of rain that you're gonna hate dealing with, but it's gonna create some nice cozy vibes for me.
We like cozy. I mean, that was half the point of Boys Stroll for sure, was
It
just,
was. God,
yeah,
I miss those boy strolls, man.
those were good days.
Yeah, so went back over to the old house, got some stuff, decided that I'm taking the smart lock with me, um, and installing it over here, because it's cheaper and easier, because all my stuff will be programmed into it
Yeah, true.
already.
Yeah. Did you
Um,
change your Wi-Fi network name or is that
no,
all? Okay,
nope.
yeah. It's
So
ready to go.
everything has been so seamless because I kept the same network name and the same password, and so it's just like everything now is just plug and play.
Yeah.
And
That's choice.
it's I highly recommend it. Um, and then came back, ate some lunch, watched the movie. Lewis came home from a little play date, and then he and I finished it basically while he ate lunch.
I
Uh,
love that it was a family affair watching the Sandy B
yeah,
rom-com. Yeah, that's
it
awesome.
was a good time. Luke, we do the plot next. So what's the
Yeah.
plot?
Yeah, okay. So I'm actually going to try to give this one Luke's patented three act structure or your money back guarantee. I think because it actually deserves it. I feel like this
Yeah.
movie's got like certifiable acts and
Mm-hmm.
they're pretty solid. Um, so here goes nothing. So Sandy B's in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's the reason
Should
we're
be.
here. Oh, and by the way, there was a movie in between Speed and this one where she's literally in it for a scene and a half, so we skipped it.
Yeah. And should we talk about this now?
Yeah,
So apparently, according to a review that Luke found, one
I
of the
did.
scenes
Yeah,
she's just in lingerie, which
yeah,
felt like maybe it's not maybe even good to include that in the canon.
yeah,
Um, what was interesting about that review is that they were like, specifically, it was Fredericks of Hollywood lingerie, which I thought was that's a specific kind of person who's like, I know where that's from.
yeah. That's that's very specific JC Penney's lingerie from the 80s right
Hmm.
there. That's what that is. That's
Yes.
an 87 model,
Yeah.
fall vintage.
That's gonna be the high cut lace with the specific grommets that you need for the bra.
Yeah.
It was manufactured in Thailand.
It's a weird thing to flex on in an
Hmm.
IMDb review.
Yeah, other places might be okay, but on an IMDb review,
Like Reddit, I'd fully expect that behavior from
sure.
Reddit.
On Reddit, yeah.
Anything goes on Reddit.
Admittedly, I don't really fully understand the vibe of people who are posting things on IMDb.
I don't either because it feels like it's a bunch of people with really specific hyperfixations
Uh-huh.
a lot of the times because you'll get weird reviews where someone's like, no stars, the trains were not on time in this movie. And you're
Yeah.
like, okay, so a bit of a transportation head over
Mm-hmm.
here.
Or it'll be like Fast and the Furious 5 gets no stars. They said it was a diesel train. That actually would be a diesel electric train.
Right. Yes. So I think there's a very specific kind of person that gets a little too excited to leave an IMDb review
Hmm.
because I think all the cool kids are over on Letterboxd.
Is that where people go?
I think word on the street is that's where people who actually want to leave a film critique
Mm.
go.
What does it say about us that we don't touch Letterboxd?
Well, this is our Letterboxd.
Okay.
And we just watch we watch our hyperfixation, which is given
Hmm.
actors in chronological order
Yeah.
until we die.
Until we die.
Yeah. Okay. So the plot.
Yeah.
All right. Act one. Sandy B's in this. Lucy is her name.
Yes.
Lucy works for the Chicago Transit Authority as a like I don't know, I wasn't in Chicago when the system worked like this, but I guess you used to have to give a token to get through the turnstile.
A lot of systems used to use tokens, and
Interesting.
it's a honestly, I get sad about the loss sometimes because the tokens were sometimes very cool.
Oh, yeah, I could
Sometimes
see
they'd
that.
have like a little hole in the middle, so it was like a donut coin.
Mm.
Um, I used to kind of like to hang on to like one token
Yeah.
from wherever we went. Now it's just a fucking card, which I realize is easier.
Yeah.
Um,
Or
but
it's
the
even
tokens were neat.
like even like we were in New York a couple weekends ago and like you just use your credit card. They're phasing out the cards even.
Yeah, which is
That's not a memento. I can't take my credit card and be like, yes, this got me
yeah.
like on the subway at 15th Street
I bought 3 days worth of Paris Metro passes with this bad boy.
with this bad boy. Yeah, I can print out my credit card history, like my statement, and circle those dates.
Yeah,
Uh,
and then if your eye wanders, it's like, why did you buy so much VR porn?
yeah, what's with all this VR porn? Because I
You don't
spent
even have the
800
headset anymore.
or mine would say, here's the $800 you spent on Sam's VR headset, and then
Hmm.
just
$400 on peripherals.
peripherals. Anyway, we have got to stay on task to get through this
Yeah.
plot. Okay, because so far all I've said is that Sandy works for the CTA, which is nothing. So
It is an important point, but yes, please
it's pretty key.
continue.
So Sandy works for the CTA. Her mom died when she was super little, and then her dad died a couple years ago as of this movie.
Hmm.
Um, she's kind of just working at this booth and like working no real like plans or anything going on. She's super lonely because she doesn't have any family to speak of.
Hmm.
So she globs on to this super handsome guy,
Peter Gallagher.
yes, who comes in through her station all the time. And she fantasizes about like getting to know him and marrying him and like having a romance with him, etc. Well, the beginning of Act One essentially is that he gets mugged? Question
It
mark?
was a mugging
Okay. A broad daylight, middle of the morning mugging.
on like
Uh,
Christmas Day?
oh yeah, it was Christmas Day.
Broad daylight, Christmas Day, L Station mugging. You
L
know,
Station mugging. Yeah.
a tale as old as time.
A tale as old as time. Yeah. So anyway, during the course of this, he gets shoved onto the tracks, which, as the person who's like very scared of those third rail signs,
Boy, how? How did this man not get turned to toast?
yeah, he lands and then she jumps in after him. Spoiler alert, she saves him, but she like
Hmm.
jumps in after him to get him. And the whole time I'm like, where's that third rail? Are they about to get
Yeah,
like fucking fried?
yeah. It maybe the most impressive part of the movie
Yeah.
that he somehow managed to not make any contact with the third
Yeah.
rail.
Because he just go up like a Christmas tree to
Oh
be
yeah.
topical for the movie. Um, anyway, she saves him. She ends up going to the hospital later to like see him
Hmm.
because she's like a good human being. She's like, what the hell happened to him? And also maybe this is a window to like get to know him, see how things are going. She shows up, his whole dang family's there. uh
Hmm.
or sorry, before she can't get in to see him because she's not family, and so a nurse basically lies for her and says that she is his fiance. He's in
Hmm.
a coma, he can't like quibble with this.
Right.
And so she gets in on this lie, and then his whole family shows up,
Hmm.
and you learn through this that he has been kind of distant with his family. He's a big-timey lawyer
Hmm.
who works for Lubel, Parker, Jacobs, and Fink.
I'm so glad you caught it because I didn't catch it and I didn't feel like rewinding.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Lubel, Parker, Jacobs, and Fink.
Mm.
And Fink.
Frink.
And anyway, so the whole family gets like they're like super surprised, but also it's within the realm of possibility that he's engaged and just didn't bother to fucking tell them.
Hmm.
So that's kind of act one, is like setting up these tensions of like, okay, she's going to pretend that she's his fiance because they're all so happy and
Yes.
they like her, and they this is like bridging the gap between them and their son a little bit.
Yeah, and his grandma
Um,
has like a heart problem, and so if she gets like she's worried that if she tells her the truth that the grandma will die.
yeah, 100%. Um, and that's sort of act one is like rising tensions as she like keeps getting invited to like family functions, like a Christmas or sorry, a New Year's thing,
Mm-hmm.
that she goes to where she meets the brother who I think is named Jack.
Jack.
Jack. The brother shows up. Now, the brother, Jack, is suspicious of
Mm-hmm.
her and
Yes.
doesn't really believe that she is who she says she is, which is pretty good instincts right there,
Mm-hmm.
Jack.
Yeah.
So he asks a lot of probing questions, and then there's a very funny scene that let's just say kind of caps off Act One, which is they're at the hospital, and she learned through an associate of his that she ran into at the hospital that her quote unquote fiance to call. And so she uses this leverage to like when the brother is like, prove it. If you're the fiance, prove it. She pops off with this information
Mm-hmm.
that he only has one testicle. This is verified. It's quite funny. And then
Mm-hmm.
everyone kind of just believes her, except the brother is still suspicious, which is Act Two. Act Two is when we get all super rom-commy, Sam. Put on
Mm-hmm.
that romance cap. Because what's happening here? We have suspicious brother Jack. We got Lucy trying to just make her way through this. And they start to fall in love just a cheeky little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And they go on dates. He like brings her a couch.
Yep.
And then they decide to haul it up to what's his name? Sorry, you've said
Peter.
it. Peter. I thought it was Peter. Okay. But I didn't want to be wrong on this podcast because that never goes well for
We're
me.
never wrong.
We're never wrong. They drag it up to Peter's apartment. So they kind of like start to really get to know each other and really like each other. And there's some rom-com shenanigans. I'm going to start moving a little faster. Into Act Two, always in a rom-com ends with the dip. Naturally, there's a dip in communication in this one, and Peter wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. But
Uh-oh.
kind of hilariously, Act Three is centered around the fact that Peter thinks he has amnesia because he doesn't remember her.
Right.
And everyone is like, you don't remember her, you have amnesia. She's great. Even though he remembers fucking everything about his life.
Everything else.
Yeah. But he kind of decides because his godfather Saul tells him, like, you're a putz, you're a total
Mm-hmm.
idiot. You need to like talk to her, and if you don't immediately fall for her, break things off. Oh, Saul's the only one who's known this whole time, by
Yeah.
the way. Because he heard her talking to Peter in the hospital when she thought she was alone.
Mm-hmm.
So Saul's known the whole time, but just thinks it's great and it's good for the family.
Mm-hmm.
Yada yada yada. Eventually ends up with Peter deciding that he does want to marry her. He breaks it off with his actual fiance, who is quite mean, I
Mm-hmm.
guess is the word for it.
And married.
And married seems like an issue.
Mm-hmm.
We gather that Peter is a bit of a piece of shit.
Yeah. I mean, his
And that
godfather says as much.
Yeah, exactly. Like pretty much to his face was like, you're a huge piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they actually decided to get married at the hospital, like in a rush.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they're all queued up, the family's there, and then you're asking yourself, are they wrapping this up super quick? Yes, they are. This is the last 5 minutes of the movie. Um, hospital. She says before the preacher can get basically any words out, she just goes, I object. And
Mm-hmm.
Jack goes, I object too. And the preacher's like, the fuck, I didn't even get to that part.
Right.
Um, she says this big speech about how who she really is and how she doesn't love Peter, but she does love Jack. And she kind of leaves and doesn't really know where things are landing because the family gets into a huge argument with Peter because his actual fiance shows up with her husband
Mm-hmm.
and things explode. And the movie ends later with her back at her booth, and then who should show up but Jack? And I thought rather sweetly, the whole family,
Yes.
where he pushes a little engagement ring through the like token slot,
Mm-hmm. The token hole.
the token hole, and then they decide to get married, and then this was pretty much it. Roll credits.
Yeah.
So there's your three acts. Yeah, Sam, what'd you think of this one?
It was a good one. It was fun.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Um, Also, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you the audio for you gonna be a fucking mess because it's also thundering a lot. So this is such a task for you. Um,
Yeah. It would be no big deal if I actually went line by line, like inch by inch and cleaned up the audio, but
mhm.
I don't do that.
No, this ain't that kind of show.
This ain't that kind of show. So folks, you're gonna hear my dryer, my washer, Sam's full storm situation, the reverb, Sam being in a fucking corner. It's gonna be
Yeah,
good.
it's gonna again, I feel like anytime someone moves, it sets off a new era.
Hmm.
You moved to Little Rock, set off the era of us being very close and you being able to hear one car enter one of our audio and exit the other ones. And then you moving to New England, and then we get the corner and our I think pretty chaotic sort of experiences as you were gone,
Yeah.
you moved, and then I'm moving, and now it's a new era full of echoes and thunder.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Echoes and Thunder is metal as fuck, dude.
It's pretty good. A big way to talk from a guy who's sitting in a pitch black room.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that this is Hanksy V3.
Ooh,
Um,
yeah.
and this is Hanksy 3.0. And I
Hmm.
think the hallmark of Hanksy 3.0 is going to be poor audio quality.
Hanksy Panksy Season 4 3.0.
3.0, season 4 dash V 3.0.
Hmm.
Bring your
Bad
headphones.
audio.
Yeah, bring your headphones for bad audio.
Hmm.
Yeah, so yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought it was a fun time. Pretty solid. You're not wrong. It does move really quick at
Yeah.
the end. Like I peeked at my phone for like a second and I was like, I missed a lot. But no, it just moves at up like wild ass clip that it does not throughout the rest of the movie.
Nope. It takes its time for most of the movie, and
Hmm.
then at the end, I like to guesstimate how much is left based on how much plot I reckon is left.
Hmm.
And I paused it and it was like, it's probably like 20 minutes. Nah, it was like 10 minutes left in
Yeah.
this motherfucker. And we were like not even to the wedding scene yet. So
Hmm.
I
Well,
think it happened right after, but
what'd you think?
I really liked this movie.
Yeah.
I laughed a lot. I had a super fun time. I don't
Hmm.
recommend watching it at 5:30 in the morning.
No.
But I kind of don't recommend watching anything other than maybe Lord of the Rings at 5:30 in the morning.
Porn, I
Porn's
guess.
good. Yeah.
Porn's not bad.
Although I will say, if you're watching porn at 5:30 in the morning, that is planting a flag in the day. That is carping
It's,
the DM.
you're setting a tone.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I wouldn't watch like Judge Dredd at 5:30 in the morning.
true.
Um, no, so yeah, like a genuinely charming film.
Yeah,
Uh,
it does make me a little mad at your wife
hmm.
because we watched so many rom-coms,
Hmm.
and in my head, I actually think it was this movie is what I was thinking
Yeah.
as a romance movie. And we watched so many bad rom-coms.
I mean, I think the theme she called it was bad romance.
Oh, that's true. It was so she nailed it, and
Yeah.
it was
They're not
just
supposed to be good.
yeah, because this one was really good, and I was just like, man, that palate cleanser would have been very different if it had been
Hmm.
good romance. But to your point, it was labeled. It basically was a bag that said "Dead dove, do not eat,"
And we
and
ate.
and we ate. So I
We
don't
put on
know.
our bibs and got our knives and forks and dug in.
We ate and left no crumbs on bad romance, I think, as the kids would say.
Um, I have a handful of questions for you and one note that I wrote down that makes no sense.
Okay, I have. a series of notes, but I love your questions. I'm always very
Okay.
excited to hear
So
your
you want to start with
questions.
the questions or this one thing that I wrote down that again, I don't fully understand why I wrote it down. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with the film.
Uh, well, you teased it so hard. Let's start with that guy.
Energy drink, but milk.
I
That's
mean,
it. It's an energy drink, but it is milk.
so it's like Zoa Healthy Warrior energy milk
Yeah.
is what you're pitching.
Your power cream.
Ooh, Power Cream is really good.
Why aren't we doing this?
Well, I feel like we should be because it's like protein. It's a good source of protein and
Calcium, vitamin
calcium,
D.
vitamin D, and could be a wicked good source of caffeine.
I mean, why are we not caffeinating our milk?
I don't know, especially for children.
Especially for children, especially for coffee. Can you
Yeah.
imagine if you made a latte with caffeinated milk?
Oh, now we're talking. So now you've got the espresso. You get a quad shot of espresso and
Quad,
caffeinated milk.
a quad shot of espresso and a latte with power cream?
Power cream.
You're going to the fucking moon.
We're going to the moon, and you are going to make those decks at work. You're going to be shifting deck slides, like
Hmm.
knowing at a speed that's never going to be met by anybody else in history.
Everyone's gonna be like, "Wow, did he start doing cocaine?" No, power cream.
Power cream. It's almost worse. I
He's
feel like
power creaming.
he's power. Oh, now that's different. That's after you buy your $800 VR headset,
There you go.
and you load up on VR port.
Oh no, no, you can't go in there. He's power creaming.
He's power creaming in his office pretty hard right now.
You do not want to go in there.
Yeah, but I also feel like maybe the reason we haven't is that perhaps dairy is not the ideal form for something that potentially can make you shit like crazy.
I mean, the other that I can think of is like, people will chug an energy drink, right?
Yeah,
Like they will crush a
for
Red Bull.
sure.
Uh, Imagine doing that, but it's whole milk.
You have your truly ludicrous. Okay, so here's my question to you then about
Hmm.
Power Cream.
Hmm.
Is Power Cream being served in a original Red Bull size can, like eight to 12 ounces, or is it a gallon like you buy
I
milk right now?
I think it's either one. I mean, I think like for the man
Yeah.
on the go, um, it's in a can that you can. Oh man, I got a crush for this final. Glug glug glug
Glug
glug glug
glug
glug
glug.
glug. Oh my stomach. Oh, oh my tummy. Um,
Oh, the
or
image alone is horrifying.
or if it's just like, man, I really need some pep in my step this morning. I'm gonna put some power cream in my cereal.
Okay, yeah. So one is for baristas
Mm-hmm.
or like gourmet applications like Fruity Loops.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And then the other is for like energy when you need that protein, that calcium, that vitamin D, and that
Yeah.
caffeine, and
Can
you need it
you?
quickly.
Hey man. Hey man. Hey man though.
Yeah.
Can you imagine whipped cream that's caffeinated?
Okay, now we're talking.
Now we're talking one of those fucking Ready Whip canisters.
Yeah.
You and then you can lift a fucking car. And then once you've emptied the Ready Whip, you finish the rest of it as whippets.
Yeah, which is gonna help you lift that car even more. So,
Can I can I hold on? Hey Kenna, can I tell the Lysol story? Okay, so the audio is so bad in this house. So while we were moving, um, Kenna was moving some cleaning supplies and also a duvet, and she
Mhm.
put the duvet on top of the cleaning supplies, and
Oh
then she
no.
drove in her small Ford C-Max over to the new house. In that box of cleaning products, it was like an open like crate kind of thing. It
Hmm.
was Lysol, and the duvet had pressed down on the sprayer.
Yeah.
And so Kenna was driving over to the house, and she was like, "Man, I'm feeling pretty lightheaded."
Oh no.
And I was like, "Oh no, Kenna," because I was unloading the car, and I was like, "This Kenna, first of all, this smells so clean, and this duvet is damp."
Mm.
Actively damp.
Yeah.
Uh, so my wife accidentally did whippets, is what I'm
Well,
trying to say.
I mean, if you're gonna accidentally do a drug,
Uh-huh.
that's a pretty good way to do it. Like, because then you get a taste, but you don't have the guilt of I just did
Mm-hmm.
whippets. I chose to do whippets for an afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
You have the excuse of I was accidentally made to do whippets.
Right, yeah.
Oops, oops, all whippets.
Oops, all whippets. Uh,
And then you get to evaluate the experience and decide if you want to do more whippets in the future, which the
mm-hmm.
answer for whippets, folks, is no. You don't.
So yeah, imagine fucking power whipped cream
Yeah.
and the power of whippets
I,
combined.
I'm sorry, sir, but I believe it would be whipped power cream.
Whipped power cream, you're right.
And yeah, we'll totally serve it in those little cans.
Also, can I tell you another facet of Hanksy Panksy V3?
Yeah, for sure.
My mic is picking up Lewis yelling downstairs.
Amazing.
So, scattered throughout all of this, you're just hearing my son yelling.
Nice.
It's going to be impossible to listen to this.
I think so, but also worth it. If it's like digging for jokes.
Yes.
It's like one of those like for kids like you fill a sandbox with like little rubber or plastic dino bones
Uh-huh.
and you have them dig it up. That's what this episode is going to be like for you, the dear listener.
Yeah.
It's like you're a kid in a sandbox digging for dino bones, and occasionally you're going to get whipped power cream,
Oh, yeah.
and then sometimes you're going to hear my dryer. So
And if you watch it, it's going to be an even more jarring experience because I think you're going to hear some version of this that's actually not the one that's going up on the podcast feed,
yeah.
but you do get the weird visual experience of Luke and I being a complete contrast to each other.
Yeah, as your room has darkened even more, it does. We sort of look like we're doing this intentionally, like as a
We
French art
do.
film or something.
It's so
Yeah, so the man on the right will be in the full like light of the room. It would be gorgeous, and then the other guy will be in pitch dark, absolute
it,
darkness.
the only thing that would make it look more intentional would be if you were wearing a black shirt.
Oh, true, because you are
And
wearing
then
that choice white tee.
then it would look so coordinated and
Yeah,
so buck wild. Um, so, questions.
yeah.
Um, are you bailing on this guy that you have a big crush on who's in a coma when you meet this family? Because when they first show up, they are a lot.
They are a lot. I think yes. Sorry, I was pondering. What I was weighing in my head was, um, because she knows. Okay, yeah, definitely bailing because she knows nothing about this
Nothing.
man. Didn't
And
even know his last name before
no,
showing up.
didn't even know his name.
Yeah. Oh, good point. Yeah.
And then, yeah, the family's just a lot. And it's like, ooh, there are a lot of people who ride the L.
Yeah. There's got to be other handsome people that ride the L
Hmm.
every day. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think bailing pretty hard after
Hmm.
meeting this family. I think, and plus it would be hilarious because you would be like, yeah, I'm the fiance. You meet them, you decide to bail, you do bail, because I don't think she gives him her contact info until a couple meetings later.
I think so.
So instead, they're left with this haunting experience of meeting his fiance, who died, I guess, right afterward.
Yeah. Oh, God, it was just like, yeah, it was the weirdest thing. He had a fiance we had never heard of before, and then we never saw her again
Yeah. And when he woke up, he didn't remember her at
at
all.
all. It's like we saw a ghost
Yeah.
together.
Who? Sure, Lucy, she's been dead for 40 years.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Ooh. Also, just a fun fact about this. So you know how Lucy like doesn't know his name, but
Hmm.
she's like, oh, blah blah blah, blah, and then the nurse just takes her back there.
Yeah.
That's some pre-HIPAA shit, baby. This movie
Oh, for
came out
sure.
1 year before HIPAA, and
I
so
see.
you can see how it was just the wild fucking West.
Yeah. You
Where
want
it's just like that coma dude, yeah, his name's Peter. Here's his social security number, and he's diagnosed with this, this, and this.
Yeah, you want to see Lawyer McBig Dick? Sure, bud. I understand. You're his
Yeah,
fiance now, rubber stamped.
yeah. Mr. One Nut Esquire.
Hmm.
So, what is the right thing to do in this situation? So you have saved a man's life. You have a big crush on him. Um, you then meet his family, and before you can explain it, the nurse says, "You're his fiance."
Yeah.
What do you do? They're also talking a lot.
Yeah, they are talking a lot. Sam, I don't like to steal bits from other podcasts,
Hmm.
but to hark back to fucking Mabim Bam,
Oh shit.
I think you need to pack your bags and move away.
It does it seems like that's the only option
I,
you're gonna
I
have.
I genuinely think it's the only option you have because you're a public figure. You're in a booth that
Hmm.
someone in this family, like you've now increased the odds that someone will recognize you exponentially by introducing like 15 people to the roster.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think you got to pack your bags and like move out of the second city for sure.
Do you still do that knowing that you will likely kill the grandmother? And you don't know
I think
if
I
he's gonna
think
come out of the coma.
I think the best way to do this is to pack your bags and move away because one, I think it's easier on grandma's heart if you just fucking vanish than if you tell her to her sweet face,
Yeah,
"Hi, I'm a fraud," and your
I'm a
son
fraud.
or your grandson is still like distant and a total dick.
Hmm.
Your life is shit, etc.
Yeah,
I think you just pack your bags and move to like, I don't know, what did we say? Santa Fe. Move to
Santa
Santa
Fe.
Fe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
start drinking a lot of water. That elevation will get you.
Santa Fe, what family? And in her
Hmm.
case, what family?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, do you think there's an ethical amount of time that you can keep it up?
I think she does it about the maximum that you can do it. Now, see, she got the biggest break in the world, which is when she had the nut thing. That's
Hmm.
huge.
That's
Because
just so big.
if you're questioning things in your brain, that's hard to get over the fact that she knew about the one testicle.
Right.
That's that's certifiable evidence.
Hmm.
So she had that, and then it was bolstered by the fact that when he did wake up, she got the biggest break in the world because they said, "You have amnesia," and he took the bait.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think you could keep the grift up for pretty much forever at that point.
Yeah, I just wonder if the right thing to do is to not gaslight him into thinking he has
Oh,
amnesia.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize we were talking about the right thing to
Yeah, no,
do.
no, no. I said the what is the right thing to
Oh,
do?
okay. Then yeah,
Yeah.
I maintain pack your bags and move
Okay.
away.
Um, do you like a Chicago dog?
I love a Chicago dog, my friend.
Man, I gotta tell you, um, I can't do the sport peppers. They hurt
Mm,
my too spicy for
too
me.
spicy.
But otherwise, I think a Chicago dog is kind of top tier.
It's top tier hot dog. for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Which is wild because in this movie, she's kind of rude to the hot dog vendor.
She's a dick to the hot dog guy.
Yeah, and she's like, I just want mustard, just
Only
mustard,
mustard.
only mustard. Gal, you live in the city renowned for serving hot dogs the best way.
Yes. Now, I will admit, I used to be an only mustard on my dog kind of guy.
Yeah,
And then the Green Cart Deli came to Conway. And
true.
I
I
learned,
forgot
yeah,
about Green Card Deli.
I worked there for a little bit,
You
remember?
did. I forgot about you working for Green Card Deli.
Yeah, what a time. That was something, you know?
That was an experience. I was just weighing the math in my head of like, do we really want to go in on the Green Card Deli, a
Ah,
hot dog stand from the place we grew up in Arkansas that I don't think exists
I
anymore.
don't I it's actually a little unclear to me if it still exists, but
Okay.
it was a solar powered hot dog cart. It was
Yeah.
actually really cool. It had a great menu, served some really fucking phenomenal chili. And then while I was in college, I worked there for a little bit washing dishes.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do other things, but they had me wash dishes.
I see.
So that's what I did there.
Yeah.
Which I gotta tell you, washing dishes from a hot dog cart is a pretty powerful sort of nasal experience.
Yeah. Now that I
Cause
believe.
Because you do the chili bucket, and that's not so bad. It smells pretty good. It's nice chili. You do the bun steamer. Oh, that's incredible. That's great. And then you get to the hot dog water, and actually that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
The smell is rough, and then also the sauerkraut bucket. The sauerkraut bucket was my nightmare.
I mean, hot dog water is famously a joke.
Hmm.
Like it is itself the punchline for many things.
Yes.
Like like if you were to curse someone with I don't know, say like every you get $1 million, but every time you drink water, it turns immediately into hot dog water. Like
Hmm.
that's a joke about hot dog water.
Yes.
For good reason, it's not exactly a sought after commodity.
No. No, it is not. Um. All right, here's one, and I think this is gonna get controversial.
Okay.
I think we're gonna make some people mad.
All right.
Chi
All right. I mean, I'm prepared.
Chicago versus New York City, who you got?
Like just in general?
In general,
Oh, fuck, man. That's a
gotta pick
hard
one
one.
city.
I gotta pick one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know my answer, but I'm trying to figure out how to justify it.
Okay, I know my answer.
Is it okay? Let's do three, two, one.
Okay,
All right, three, two, one. Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah, it's Chicago.
Yeah, it's Chicago, folks. Um, I'm sorry, it's the better city.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay. So here's the thing. I love, and I was just in New York. Like, I love both of these places.
mm-hmm,
New York is fucking particular. It's a very particular stank,
mm-hmm.
sometimes
Hey,
literally.
literally, because these fucking people are still trying to figure out if they should put trash in bins. This is
Yeah.
an active political debate in the city of New York. Should we put trash in bins or just leave it out on the fucking street in plastic bags that the
Yeah.
rats get into? And that's why our city is infested with rats.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you know we were looking this up because we heard this and we looked it up the other day. Did you know there's one alley in Manhattan?
No.
There are no alleys. That's why there's trash in the street.
Actually, so I didn't know that that was the case, but I did see somewhere on a comment about the New York City mayoral race where somebody was like, "Yeah, in Chicago we have alleys where we put our dumpsters."
Yeah, exactly. So there's no alleys. So yeah, that's not a defense because there's no defending the trash stank.
No.
Okay, so all that to say, there is a very particular flavor that if you are born and raised in New York and that's the flavor you like, you ain't getting that anywhere else,
Mm-mm.
including Chicago. So
Mm-mm.
I totally get it. The city that never sleeps is really cool. But if I had to, okay, here's the litmus test for me. If the question is where would I rather live? Chicago.
Oh
Every
yeah.
time. Every
Oh,
fucking time.
100 times out of 10.
Yeah. 1,000,000 times out of 10.
Frankly, even where would I prefer to visit?
Mhm.
Sorry, Chicago.
Yeah.
I love New York. I visited a lot when I was younger because I had grandparents who lived up near there. Um, Great city, but it's a fucking mess. Um,
It's a lovable mess. I mean, I don't think I don't know that anybody can walk the streets of New York and be like, this is all completely functional.
so this is kind of the thing that befuddles me about New Yorkers. Is that this notion that, and my grandparents kind of ascribed to this as well. New York is the best place on the planet, and everything outside of New York sucks absolute shit. And it's like, y'all haven't figured out trash cans.
Yeah, but here's the thing about that, because I noticed this a lot while we were there. Random strangers would talk to me about, which is wild because nobody does that in New York.
Hmm.
But like people would talk to me. Literally, a woman walked several blocks with us complaining the whole time, joined us and complained about how New York is an unlivable hellhole and how she's from here. Where are you from? Oh, I bet that's nice. We don't have a city. New Yorkers are kind of obsessed with talking about how shit New York is.
So that's the weird line New Yorkers walk, which is they hate New York, but also they hate everywhere else more.
Yes. It's so weird to have constant reminders that things are kind of bad on certain metrics
Hmm.
and could be improved.
Yes.
But then to also have this attitude, because versus like sitting in Rogers Park, Chicago, eating a Chicago dog, looking at the
Hmm.
lake. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell me which is like more tolerable on a day-to-day basis.
Yes. It is unique, and I do find it particularly frustrating that um New Yorkers are like, I don't want to visit anywhere else or like the fucking South. And it's like, yeah, this is why people don't like you. And like the South has a lot to offer. And it's like, yeah, that might be true, but I don't want to check it out. And it's like, we got stuff here.
Yeah, there's stuff
There's
and
stuff.
people. There's stuff and people.
Now, I realize I'm saying this in the South looking like I'm in a void where the sun cannot reach me. Um, but I promise, the South has cool shit.
True.
Great culture, great food, a lot of good, not maybe good, a lot of history.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
yeah, good distinction.
yes, 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 yes. Um, Come to the South, folks. Check it out. It's cheaper to live here too.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
That's okay, and that's not even an argument we got into about New York versus Chicago, is the
Hmm.
like affordability of real living conditions.
Yes.
Excuse me, not talking about like a shoebox that you pay
Hmm.
6 grand a month for, like an actual like place you can like stretch out a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway. So Chicago, I'm glad we landed on the same side of the
Me
coin
too.
for that
Me
one.
too. We're gonna get pilloried for it, but that's okay.
Probably mostly by New Yorkers.
And what? Are they gonna come down here and beat us up? No.
They could conceivably reach me a lot
Yeah,
easier.
you're in a lot more trouble. But down here, they're not
Yeah.
gonna fucking come to Arkansas.
Nah, that flight ain't happening.
I'm safe.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. There was one line in here that I had some questions about.
Okay.
Hair on your schmeckle?
I saw, or not saw, I didn't see it. I heard that,
Uh-huh.
and I'm quite confused.
Yeah, because he said, I've known you since there was like hair on your schmeckle or something like that.
Yeah, word for word, that's what he says.
Hair on your schmeckle.
On your schmeckle.
On your schmeckle. No, I think something's going on with Peter. You
I
think
think
he's got a
Peter's
hairy shaft?
I think Peter's got a hairy shaft like a wolf man.
Yeah, got old Wolfman dick.
Maybe his family is notorious for this.
Ah, a family of hairy penises.
A family of hairy ding dongs. Which would have been interesting if she could have pulled that out of her hat as
Yeah,
well.
his dick's hairy.
But then maybe it's so commonly well known in the streets of Chicago that
Right.
Callahan and Sons will buy your
Mm-hmm.
estate from you. Also, they
And
have hairy
they
dinglings.
have really furry fucking dicks.
Yeah.
Um, coarse hair.
Oh no. Course for nobody's pleasure.
Um,
It's
maybe it's a side effect of the power cream.
oh yeah, no, that could be.
Honestly, I do feel like power cream is gonna make you grow hair in odd places.
Hair in your schmeckle. Yeah. Like having sex with a scrub daddy. It's not a good experience for anyone.
And my last question.
Yeah.
Proposal in front of family, yes or no?
I'm thinking hard no on that one.
Interesting. Okay.
But it depends what you're going for because in okay, with the caveat of this scenario, which is she's really close to the family
Mm-hmm.
and that has a lot of value. The fact that they showed up is really sweet
Mm-hmm.
and it's sort of confirming like, hey, we all want you in our lives.
Yeah.
And our son obviously really wants you in his life. So that was very sweet. But I think just like I don't know. It depends. I think if you can, I'm a big fan of like the engagement meaning something really special to you and your partner.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can pull that off in a way that incorporates the family that still makes it specifically for you, like the two of you really special, that seems
Mm-hmm.
good.
Yeah. I also tend to be on the no side of this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that should be like a private experience. Um, but Kenna actually had a good point,
Mm.
which was that it's fine, but the family should be at a distance, out of view,
Ah,
that they can be
yes.
present, and that that they can then all celebrate together. But for the actual question asking,
Yeah.
that they're out of view.
I like this. I think this
I
is the way.
I think that's the way. You have any closing thoughts? I know we're running long on this one.
We are running long, but really quick, Baskin Robbins and Dunkies both sponsored this movie and are featured heavily in this movie.
Did
Uh,
they?
yeah,
I
so
miss Baskin Robbins.
just periodically throughout the movie, people are eating large tubs of Baskin Robbins ice cream, and it's fucking choice.
That is right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm now realizing. Yes.
yeah, they're just sitting at a table having a normal dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's hilarious. Sam, the only closing thought I have is that at a point in the movie, through some desperation, Sandy B is eating an Oreo, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a cat food like bowl in
Yes.
front of her. There's cat food in one bowl, side of the bowl. There's milk in the other.
Mm-hmm.
She does dip the Oreo in the or in the milk of the
Yes.
cat bowl.
Yeah.
Is this a maneuver you're gonna do?
Absolutely not. That
What if
is
it's
disgusting.
what if it's power cream?
I'll consider it.
Okay, yeah, now we're talking.
It's,
Okay.
can you imagine Oreos dunked
Mhm.
in power cream?
Now, I think you've kind of won me over to Power Cream the more I think about it.
I feel like power cream has a lot more versatility.
Yeah,
That we should be caffeinating our milk because I'm not gonna have an energy drink. I'm not gonna do that. But will I consider dunking my Oreos in power cream? Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
fucking will.
100%. And I
What if
think,
you churn power cream into ice cream?
oh, now we're
Ice power
talking.
cream.
Iced Power Cream, baby.
God. A cookies and cream iced power cream?
You're gonna die, but in the best way
Yeah,
possible.
but I'll die happy.
Yeah, you're gonna be running through the streets, solving so many problems along the way before
Hmm.
you burst into flame.
Yeah, it's gonna be something.
Yeah,
A
for
sight to
sure.
behold.
Okay, so we fixed that tiny little problem I had.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's all I got. We're running long. We can aim towards
Yeah.
closing this one up.
Well, next time looks like we'll be watching 1995's The Net.
Oh my God, yes.
So I assume she's actually in this one.
Yeah, I think so.
So we'll see about that one. Till then, folks, thanks for listening to another episode of Hanksy Panksy. You can find us on Facebook at Hanksy Panksy Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Hanksy Panksy Pod. You can send us an email at hanksypanksypod@gmail.com. Please do reach out if you want to buy that Valve Index. It's got everything except the wall anchors. Um, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/HanksyPanksy. You can check us some money over there. We appreciate the support. You check us enough money. You can be one of Hanks's heroes like Tuck and Daniel. And fellas, I'll power cream you all day.
Nice. Also, I realized and wanted to celebrate our Hanks' heroes really quick. Fellas, we've been sitting on this for years. You have the same birthday. And I'm not going
Do
to
they?
dox you by announcing what day that is, but you independently told us or told me that you have the same birthday. So happy fucking
My
birthday.
God,
Because
that's wild.
it was a few weeks ago ish by the time this comes out. And that's what are the odds?
Is it just that Hanks's heroes have to have the same birthday?
I
Is
think
that part of the
so.
contract?
I think so. So if you can divine what day this is in June, and then
Well, you narrowed it down.
and then piece this one together and then figure out if you apply, only then will we accept your nomination as the Hanks's hero.
There
I'm
you go.
kidding. We'll obviously take your money. Please give us the money.
Please. And yeah, why not write us a review on Apple
Yes.
Podcasts? That helps. Um, Look, do you have a final quote?
I do. I'm trying to decide between two, but I think I know which one I'm gonna go with.
Okay.
Much like it's said in this movie, I'm actually going to go with a heavy New York accent for this.
Okay.
So New York, New York, I'm walking
Hey,
here. Hey,
fuck you.
all right, here we go. It is, I know karate.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Exquisite. Joe
that's it.
Jr., what a mensch.
Joe Jr. is, yeah, for sure. Okay.
Well, folks, thanks for listening to another episode of Hanksy Panksy No Bollocks. Sorry for the garbage fucking audio, but that's Hanksy Panksy 3.0, baby. You can catch us next time with 1995's The Net.